Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is B. Avery here, and I got Lamont Tyson downstairs, and we are here for another great epic episode of Just My Opinion Reviews. Welcome to Derry, episode 2 on HBO Max. Don't have a synopsis for you, but it's titled The Thing in the Dark. My goodness gracious, that thing in the dark was scary as hell. Lamont, woo! This episode gave me the EBGBs, man, at least twice. I was just watching, like, oh gosh, stop it, get off the screen. You are creeping me out. Ain't no jump scares in this show, Lamont. We have long, lingering nightmares that will haunt you, that will haunt these characters. When you think it's over, it just keeps on going and going and going and going. And we're going to talk about it. I really did enjoy the episode. We got 50 million 11 things to talk about, man. I don't even know where to start. But, sir, how did you feel about the episode? General impressions coming to you. Where you at?
Love the episode, man. It picked up on some predictions I thought would happen, and we'll get to those in a minute. You know how I do with these predictions. Overall, I felt like this particular episode was probably a 7.5 out of 10 because it continued the story of darkness for the two characters that ended up surviving the first episode. And then it expanded on new characters that might be causing some trouble and how we got to where we're at. So I thought it was a great episode.
Right on. I think it's a great episode, too, if it wasn't obvious already. Interesting you said a 7.5 because I would rate it higher than that myself. Only thing I would take away is when the episode starts off, we get a recap of the ending of episode 1 to where the children die a gruesome death in the theater, but we get a different perspective. Episode 1, it was from Ronnie and Lily's perspective, and Ronnie was in the projection booth, but now we actually see the body of Phil or Theodore getting slammed into the window up here, the mutant baby. It's crazy. It's crazy. I kind of wanted to see the immediate aftermath of what happened. It seems like there was a day later, a few days later, maybe a few weeks later, Lily is having nightmares. Initially, I was like, okay, did it really happen or was she dreaming that? But no, it did happen. She's just having recurring nightmares. I kind of wish we would have got an immediate reaction, like them running out of the theater, screaming. I don't think there was a call 911 at this time in 1962, but they getting somebody involved. The authorities, some adults, they running in, seeing all the blood everywhere because they found Lily with her friend's blood all over the body. Where they found Lily with her friend's blood all over her. Now I know that the police chief at the end trying to hint at her being a suspect, but you know how they are back in this time, back in this town. They got to throw Mr. Black Man in there, even though he wasn't there. That's really my only takeaway, though, as far as like the immediate reaction. Am I tripping, or do you kind of agree or disagree with that, or are you kind of fine with where they pick things up in this episode to show what happened in episode 1?
I'm okay with where they picked it up, but I did take points away because they didn't expand on it. Literally, B. Avery, I sat here and told you that when the next episode comes out, they're going to be blaming the black person. I told you. I told you. I told you that. And where do they start this episode? Sitting outside of Veronica's house, trying to blame the daddy. And that grandma was extremely funny to me because I was raised by a grandma. So that grandma cussing and taking things to the eight, I just chuckle because them old grandmas like that used to behave like that because they was chiseled, hard, grizzled, didn't really have a whole lot of hope because of the way times was. But I would have loved to have seen how those two girls separated, got home, and what kind of conversation they would have had, maybe kind of getting the story together, what they're going to say to the people.
Yeah, man. Very important. I agree with you 100%. I like the granny too. She did make me laugh. She did make me chuckle. On one hand, I'm not bothered the fact that they consider the black man that had keys to the theater as a suspect. Now they did take him to jail. He wasn't beat on, but I necessarily can't get mad at them for just wanting to ask questions. I mean, who has access to the building? However, they're still racist as hell because, like the Greenie said, he was not the only one that had access to the building. Now, if they treated everyone that had access like that too, the popcorn person, the concession stand, the ticket booth, or whatever, then hey, you're keeping it even. But y'all let us know in that comment section if I'm tripping or not. And of course, you can say more about that if you want. But I do want to ask you this. I didn't really pay attention to it that much episode 1, but did you pay attention to the opening credits on episode 2? They're the same, but did you pay attention to the details at all? Did you
No,
notice?
no, I didn't. I
Okay.
didn't.
When we come back for episode 3, I want you to try to look at that and tell me what you think. There was one scene, I mean, they have shots of It the Clown in his demonic eye form with the yellow eyes, black surrounding face, actually showed the clown. They had a shot of Juniper Hill, the crazy asylum that Lily was sent to at the end of this. They actually have an image of them like they're trying to like gouge out a little boy's eye. He's screaming and acting. They're like, "Oh God, stop it!" And they just like, yeah, this is fun, like it's crazy. So I don't know, pay attention to that. The reason why I brought it up is I'm thinking that maybe it's a precursor or preface of what could possibly happen in the series by the end of it, because at the end of this episode we got Operation Paperclip or Operation Precept. And I think that it may come up that they may try to nuke the town of Derry or blow it up or something like that because they can't control this entity. But I don't want to jump too far down that rabbit hole too early on. But pay attention to the opening credits next time, so we can have just something else juicy to talk about. Well, Lamont, what else do we have in this episode? What else do we have in this series? First of all, I owe the audience an apology because in episode 1, excuse me, I did get some of the names mixed up between and the pictures that I was bringing up between Dick Halloran and also Major Hanlin. So Hanlin and Halloran, kind of the same thing, but two different black people. Halloran is the person that has the psychic abilities that that's doing the dick sites, and Major Hanlin is the father that has, okay, no, that's Ronnie's dad right there, but he's married to Taylor Page, who looks good in this series. But there's something going, I don't want to say there's something going on with their marriage, but she doesn't like being apart, Lamont. And we meet his son, Will. It doesn't seem like he knows his son that well. He's having to get special notes from his wife on certain gifts to get him, like a telescope instead of a baseball or a baseball glove. How you feeling about this family, man? I know I'm talking a lot. We got a nice black family. It feels like Lovecraft Country or something like that. Where you at on the family?
I can understand why the wife feels the way she does because most military wives do feel that way. And if he's been in war and he's been in North Korea and all these different places he's had to serve his country, she probably misses having the family dynamic at home. It's so bad, B. Avery, that she knows the son and his likes and dislikes more than the dad does. And when it came time to settle down on a place to go, they're coming here. And by the way, shout out to that actress who looks like little Miss K. And I've been teasing Miss K about this actress, but I said, Miss K, the actress is beautiful. So what does that say about you? She chuckled. So if y'all know Miss K, she follows us as one of our people. Actress looks just like her. And I think that what's going on here, B. Avery, did you see the way the town was treating Charlotte? Charlotte is the wife.
Right.
Everybody in this town is acting as though black people are some kind of a rare specimen, almost as if we're watching Peacemaker when he went to the racist
Yeah.
Nazi universe. We've
Right.
got a little bit of that action going on, and I think she can feel it, which makes her feel like she's not safe in this community.
Yeah, yeah. It's obvious, man. Everywhere she looks, she's walking around. I mean, they're just staring at her down. That could be evil, or just never seen a black person before. I think it's more of the former. But we'll just see. And it's kind of crazy this town they're living in, man. I mean, little boys are getting jumped in the middle of the street in the sidewalk. Nobody's doing a damn thing. Oh, boys will be boys. I'm just like, what's up with that, bro? I've actually don't think I've ever seen that before, to where somebody's just getting beat up. And maybe you'll have some YNs or of the same age group that's just gonna be like world star holding up their phone. Of course, we know this isn't 62. But I just never seen adults like that not want to get engaged at all. Like was that kind of weird to you or expected?
The group of people that was doing it is expected. However, had that been us out there fighting, they would have called the police, and I'll leave it at that.
Of course, of course, of course. Let's have some fun, man. We had some characters die in the first episode.
Mhm.
Susie, Phil, and Theodore. They are not afraid to kill the kids. Another
No.
character who I wouldn't mind dying, and I want to, is this group of girls right here, especially Marge. I like Marge like at the beginning of episode 1, but she's getting on my nerve right now with those glasses, and she looks like Piglet, and she's really going out of her way, man, to fit into this group, the patty cake gang. Like God, how you feeling about Marsh? Because I hope she kind of trips over a crack and sprains her ankle or something like that.
Marge wants to be loved. Marge wants attention. While she's standing out there with that group of girls who really don't care for her because she
Right.
hangs with Lily and Lily's her girlfriend, they really wasn't trying to feel her. And if you had a chance as they pan the group of girls, one of those girls was holding a book that said the American Civil War. Now that is something that they did teach back then when our biggest adversaries was Nazism and communists back then. And now we're seeing that they're not teaching us that in this moment because they don't want us to have pride in diversity, equity, being fair when you can make it fair. So I thought that that was telling that they made sure we saw that that girl was reading the book of the Civil War. And I think Marge's issue, she just wants to be loved. And that's probably going to get her in some trouble sooner or later.
Is she gonna die or is she gonna live? You got the pad out. We doing predictions this early?
Golly. See, I hate it when you see normally be Avery wait till the end of the episode when I've had time to soak some things. He
Mm,
done hit me with it. He found my kryptonite. Asked me this stuff very early. Be Avery, I don't know with her. I don't know right now. Like
cool. It's
maybe
cool.
by the end, but right now I don't know.
It's all good. It's all good. What I do like in this episode is Lily don't give a damn about Marge. She don't give a damn about the patty cakes. At one point I was watching, I was like, I wonder if they're gonna be friends again. But probably not. But Marge dumbass gonna come over to Lily talking about, hey, if you want, I can put in a good word for you with the patty cakes. She's like, listen, man, Phil and Theodore are dead. I don't give a damn about your patty cake. Marge is sitting there looking like, like that was lovely right there. I got a nice little kick out of that, man. Because why are you thinking about this, lady?
Be Avery, don't you agree that was a little insensitive on Marge's part? Or
Extremely, yeah, yeah.
should we expect someone of her age to have the sensibilities of an adult anyway? I mean, I don't think you have to be an adult to understand someone just went through something so traumatic. They might be withdrawing a little bit.
Right.
So, you could have that question, but I personally, I just feel like, this is your girlfriend and you know why she's withdrawn. Why don't you ask her what can you two do to get her back in a good space?
Yeah, man. Yeah. You throw me off with the whole girlfriend thing with Marsh or whatever. But this is where Will, the son of Charlotte and Leroy Hanlon, comes into the room. Man, that teacher, I want her to sprain her ankle harder than Marsh, both of them. Like, man, it's the first, second day of school. You being mean and all this. We're gonna learn about the food groups, which is important. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. It's she was just oblivious. Like I hate in the movies and television where somebody's getting picked on, but there's no investigation. Like, did the little boy just really fall in his chair, or did you see if somebody tripped him? Oh, I don't know. Stuff like that gets under me. Like how people are. Call that ish out. So
Right.
I mean, am I tripping or no?
Hell no. I was sitting here saying, you asshole teacher,
Yeah.
that is not the kind of environment that you want to ingratiate a new student who told you he's new to the building. He was only like 30 seconds late. Now, I get some people are a stickler for being late. I am too. But I do have exceptions to the rule when someone is new to an environment, especially in a school, especially a kid who's new to the entire school. And then when he falls, you didn't check to see some of those racist kids pull the seat from underneath him or anything like that. You telling people to shut up. Dude, I hope that Bat Baby comes and gets her butt. That's what I hope.
Already. You stupid. I hope that Bat
Suffocate her with an apple.
I hope that Bat Baby come and get a number of people. But now going back to Major Hanlin and Will,
Mhm.
and the family, how long do you think they was apart? I'm just curious before I move on. Like how many months? If you had to
Um, if bro, these tours of duty, who knows? It could be 2 years, 3 years, maybe 4 years since they've been a family unit. Now I'm sure he's visited her here and there on base here and there, but in terms of you going like a year together in the same household, I think it's been probably at least 2 years, three maybe that they've been apart.
gotcha. And let me ask you this, man. If you was Major Hamlin, if you was in
Yeah.
his shoes in this situation right here, would you continue to investigate or so-called poke the bear, or would you just let it ride and you know get your paycheck? What I mean is, he goes into one of his superiors' office, gets an update on the beating, and they say, "Hey, we figured it out. They're in jail right now." He says, "You know what? I know it was dark, but that weapon, it was a Markov something something. You know, is that right?" Hey, why you want to know? Well, hey, when I'm telling my grandkids that I stared in the face of death, I just want all the details. We find out what's going on towards the end of the episode. But at that time, it was bluntly obvious that that general, colonel, or whoever that superior was lying to him. And he just made up a weapon to see if he would try to fit it in. And it's like, oh, okay, I can't trust this guy. Would you do that knowing that you black and 62 and they can probably hang you from a tree? I mean, they're saying that your buddy talking about, hey, this is not the South. We don't deal with that bull crap here. What would you do in the situation, Lamont?
I would have done exactly what he did. He knew obviously that General Shaw was lying because, like you said, he pulled out the Markov Russia PM gun situation, and he could kind of tell that that story wasn't adding up. And then he's blaming it on Petty Officer Masters, the racist, which is easy to put the blame on. And so I completely would have investigated because you need to know the environment you're living in, especially now with your wife being there.
Yeah.
And why are your superiors lying to you about something that could endanger your life? Fuck a paycheck. This is my family. This is my life. I need to know more. So I would have done the same thing he did. And if I couldn't get to the answers, I would have been like, re-enlist me somewhere else.
Right on. Lamont, we got to talk about you know one of the most disgusting scenes I've seen so far. Not only this series, not only this year, but damn near my whole life.
This
Yellow.
show had like three of them, B. Avery. This one episode had about three highly disgusting episodes. And I know which one you about to go to.
Poor Ronnie. Jesus Christ. That was a nightmare for your ass right there.
Yeah.
She's in bed, just trying to get a little nap in. I gotta go, not nap, go to sleep. I gotta go to school early in the morning, okay? And she hears her daddy and grandma talking, arguing, puts the cover over her head and turns up into a like, no, oh, God. She is dreaming of herself being born, killing her mom. I mean, like, I can only imagine like how that makes you feel for the rest of your life. That as you came into this world, you kill your mom, but when you're at this age and it's haunting you, I gotta give it to him, man. The effects in this episode was stellar. The editing, the sound, even when her demon mother, gothic looking Skeletor, was turning her face or turning her head, you can hear the bones cracking in her, in her body. Just, I mean, that was really, really effective. And then her showing like she's still connected in the womb with the umbilical cord, and then all the fluids and blood, and then the stomach opening up with the mouth. Lamont, man, I almost had to turn it off, bro. God dog it, man. And then a mama, not a mama, but a daddy and the grandma ran in there to, help her out. Where you at, bro? What would you think of watching that mess?
Folks, this was an extremely graphic scene. And when I saw something beating, a heartbeat beating out of her bed, I was like, oh, hell, here we go. These two kids that survived the bat baby is about to be tormented. And then as it started to turn red, I said to myself, they done put the girl in the embryo. And I was thinking maybe I'm wrong. Then the water came, and next thing you know, you see her hand popping out of something, and B. Avery. HBO went and did it. They went and did a graphic scene where we got the pussy from hell that looked like a reverse Venus flytrap, and the bitch had eyes on the inside of those teeth. I was like, no, y'all didn't. Y'all went there. Then the girl is still attached to the umbilical cord. It was graphic. It was gruesome. I was saying to myself, this is so good. It could be a movie if they wanted it to be. And then the mom just playing on that girl's sensibility by saying, "You're going to get your dad
Yeah.
killed." And she started looking like the girl that came from that well. I forgot the name of that movie, but scary movie. But the chick that kept coming out of the well, the drinking water well, the mom went like that. And thankfully, dad came in and saved her.
Whew.
But be Avery, these two girls, you know, we could say that this is PTSD, but it's probably real. This is not just PTSD. I'm sure they're having that too, but this is real. I mean, look at her hair, B. Avery. When this series started, her hair was not like that.
It's too good.
Two episodes in, her hair is looking like she stuck it in the washing machine, and it's all because you got black people out here with this weird ass shit. And Ronnie, get
Yeah.
some help, my sister. Get some help.
Yeah, man. Get some help. I want her to make it, man. I hope she lives. I hope
Mm.
Ronnie lives. I hope Lily lives. You know, I want everybody to live. I don't want this demon monster going around terrorizing everybody. I don't know, man. What's up with Halloran though, man? What's up with him? You know, he's something special about him. You know, he got the connect. You know, they can sneak out of base and come back tipsy. And you know, you got the other white hater, man. Talking about y'all snuck out of base, no permission. It's after hours. Stay right there, man. I would have happily cussed him. Don't talk to me this way. Watch your tone. You're gonna call the dude talking about, oh, you must like your job or whatever. Talking about, oh, Halloran down there, let him through, let him through. Oh, y'all are clear now. You know, straight to base. You call him back and see if you can talk to me like that again. I don't want to hear no straight to base with you. Anyway, what's up with Hollering, man? What do you think is going on with him?
I don't know if he's really got these gifts that he claimed he has. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. So whatever the purpose is got him to this point where he gets privileges. And of course, we're seeing the same thing in today's era that we're seeing from the 60s. You got a minority who has privileges that a white guy doesn't have because the white guy thinks he's entitled to it. So he wants to give these three black dudes trouble. And when he told him he had privileges, did you see the look on that white guy's face? Like he shoved his nose into the ass of a cow. He
Mm,
was hot. And not only that, but he was even more hot when he got the phone call. But B. Avery, I think there's something about Dick that we're missing here. They're setting him up to be kind of a mysterious character, and something happened in the end with Major Hanlin that I think they're making him to become a sacrifice in a bad way and not a good way.
I hope not, man. I don't want no sacrifices, especially black people. But we're gonna see. I'm nervous though. Can Do you trust Halloween though? Do you trust him?
As of right now, no. He gives me sneaky energy. He gives me he's all about himself type of energy. He gives me he might want to have another Negro replace him at some point in time while he escaped. I get that kind of energy from him. Hopefully, he turns out to be one of the good ones. But be Avery, you just got to admit there's too many minorities on this show right now. All of us is not getting out of this thing alive.
Come on, man. Keep hope alive, Lamont. Keep
Mm-mm,
hope alive. Okay, the blacks
mm-mm,
are gonna make
mm-mm.
it. I want everybody to make it. But we know
But B. Avery, I got a question for you.
what's good. What's good. What's good.
When Dick and the three dudes were sitting in there getting drunk at the bar, what's up with the Mexican dude that came up and made them leave? This Mexican dude, he
I
got
don't know.
special powers. He
Yeah,
Miss Cleo, Mr. Cleo.
missed that part. Dude was like, "It's time to go." And he's like, "Why?" And then he saw him, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, you're right." I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And even right before that, the police chief was approached by the commissioner and somebody else, and like, "Hey, you locked that nigger up yet?" You know, um, "Hey, he got an alibi and evidence, and I mean, no evidence." He was like, "Look, if you don't do it, we're gonna by next election cycle, you know, we're gonna get you out of here." So.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's I don't like the bias and the nature behind all these characters.
So that was something you touched on earlier when I was explaining that I didn't like how they came after Ronnie's dad, and you said to me that you didn't mind that part. I minded that part because that councilman told the police chief that Ronnie's dad had an alibi, which means they've already done talked to Ronnie's dad. If there's only one way you're gonna know he has an alibi, and that is if you talk to him. And they had talked to Lily, who clearly said that he wasn't there. And now that the councilman is putting pressure on you financially for your job, and folks, make no mistake, this type of stuff happened in real life to black people and minorities and women all the time, and it's still happening right now. If someone is in a position of power and someone threatens that position when they're trying to do the right thing, we oftentimes see people do the wrong thing, and eventually police chief done the wrong thing.
Yeah, I hear you. To clarify, um, I didn't mind them wanting to ask him questions, and I would prefer them have the same energy for everybody that had access, the same access to the theater. Um, but it's frustrating. Um, what would you do in this situation or in Lily's situation? She says that hey, the black guy wasn't there, but she doesn't want to tell them what she saw because she gonna look crazy. I saw a demon bat mutant baby come out of the movies theater screen and it killed everybody. Nobody's gonna believe that. However, it's causing an innocent man to go to jail. Ronnie not playing that. I love how ferocious she was. I'm going to the front door. Doom, 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 doom. Hey, what did you say? Do I gotta come up there, them stairs, and whoop that ass? Of course, she didn't say all that, but she didn't care about the mama being there. She was like, hey, man, this is my damn daddy. I only got one of them. Hold up. I love that. Is Lily wrong or is Lily wrong? How you feeling about Lily in this situation?
Now, the writers did a good job of putting the audience in a cluster, you know what, on this one, because on one hand, be Avery, let's just start with the way it should play. The adults are in the room here. First of all, that cop had no business questioning that girl again without legal representation or the mom being there. That's number one. Number two, the cop used the fact that this girl has been to the loony bin before and coerced her to say what he wanted her to say to have an excuse to go arrest Ronnie's daddy. That is a problem. But if you are Lily, you've been to the loony bin, and that is your biggest fear, I'm not so sure we can get mad at her per se because she still didn't necessarily, tell or say that the dad was there. The cop tricked her into saying some word salad shit to make it seem as if the dad wasn't on the up and up. And so, on one hand, I want Lily to stand 10 toes down. But on the other hand, back in those days, B. Avery, these loony bins wasn't regulated properly. And a lot of the times you would go there, especially women, they would get drugged up and then they would be fondled amongst other things that people would do to them in the loony bin because B. Avery, who's going to believe these women?
Right.
They're loony. And then if you're a child and loony, you really have no basis to be believed. And so I also think that if you're this cop and you're threatening this girl to say that, people are not going to believe you because you loony, well, how can they believe what you're saying right now? How can they believe anything you say, to be honest with you? So with that backdrop, Lily could have held it down, but Lily's mom was a piece of shit behavior. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Lily's mom is a piece of crap. Um, Somebody else is a piece of crap is a person that that threw the smoke bomb or stink bomb
Oh
and
my
got Will in trouble. Will, I don't know why you just sat there and let it explode while you in a room with Rich, but I didn't like that he was in detention. But how you feeling about Will and Rich and Will?
I really like Will because he's smart and he's unapologetic about being smart. And back in those days, being a nerd, if you wasn't in some elite school, being a nerd wasn't cool. And he's being authentically himself. Dude's got a telescope. He looks at the stars. I got a telescope. Dude likes to study. He likes to do his homework.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
used to like to do my homework.
mhm.
He wants to be smart and he's not running from it. And I like that about him. I don't know about his sidekick just yet. His sidekick seems like he's nerdy smart too. So maybe they'll make a good pairing. But you ultimately see where they're going with this. They're going to pair Ronnie and Will. And I think that by the end of this season, Will's intelligence is going to be able to use his science brain to help solve whatever the issues are going on in this town. That's a prediction, ladies and gentlemen. Book it.
I like it. I didn't even think about that myself. So that's pretty dope right there. Yeah, man, good stuff. Good stuff. I love your predictions. Um, I was gonna say something else, but it slipped my mind. We got the racist in jail,
Yeah.
and Hanlin proved that he wasn't the perpetrator. It was like, hey, keep your mama's name out of your mouth. I'm gonna keep this out of her. And yeah, man, he couldn't cock the gun. He couldn't cock the gun. Yeah, that's Hanlon, man, trying to figure out what's going on. It's you have a interesting assignment when you can sign a confession of something that you know you didn't do. That's crazy. Where you at on that, sis? Part of the story.
When he went in there, he put that gun down. I was saying to myself, where y'all going with this? And then when he let him pick the gun up after racist McMasters basically said, I did do it, I confess, blah, blah, blah. I loved how Hanlon basically told him, you ain't nothing but a dumb piece of you know what. You're dumb. I checked your record. Your record says you're dumb. Hell, your record said you got one tooth and you hang from mountains in West Virginia. That's how dumb you are. And he put the gun on the table to let him prove that he was that dumb. Personally, I wish Hanlon would have snuck a punch in.
Mm,
But at the end of the day, Hanlon knew he had nothing to do with it. He kind of knew he was a scapegoat and he just let it go. So I think he handled it well. He solved the case. And, I think racist dude might have newfound respect for Hanlon later on in this season.
really? Well, since you say
Mhm.
newfound respect, are they going to be buddy pals by the end of the season?
Not buddy pals, but I think McMasters, the racist, will wind up helping Hanlon get out of a sticky situation or help his family get out of some kind of mess.
I can see that. Yeah, that seems very realistic. Y'all let us know what y'all think about that plot point in the comment section. Did you catch the Native Americans or the natives in the woods looking with their, I don't know if they had binoculars or not, but they was like, hey, what y'all digging up over there? At one point in the episode, Lamont, one of the generals was like, hey, we're looking for something that was buried in Derry a long time ago. We're gonna come back to that. But you got these natives that don't, it looks like they don't like this unit digging up land. Is there some type of connection? Are they trying to hide something or am I reaching?
No, I mean, well, you just got to think if you are a native, anytime you go back in history, if you're a native, you get enraged like we do because technically this land was stolen from them.
Mhm.
And for all we know, this land was sacred land for their ancestors. They worship their deities there, and they might have things buried down in there that they think are magical or have some kind of deital power. And the way this story is going, there is something down there that has magical powers that can cause fear in human beings. And so I don't blame the natives for being upset because this probably was their land and it was taken from them and they probably got sacred souls or something down there and now you're digging it up and playing, as black women would say, you playing in my face.
Yeah, let's leave the sacred souls alone. And I'm sorry, y'all. We're recording this like few weeks before the show comes out, and they don't have all the names on IMDb. But General Shaw,
Yeah.
James Remar, I like him. Or do I? He,
I was gonna say, do you like him after what he
yeah,
did?
yeah, man. He was part of this whole farce. He was a reason why Hanlon can't make love to his wife properly at night because he's all bruised up. It wasn't supposed to happen that way. We're sorry. I granted them anonymity, and I'm not going to burn my people. I know you got to report me, but just hear me out for 10 minutes. Um, I like Hanlon. He was like, I don't want to hear this crap. I've heard enough. I'm finna bounce. But Did General Shaw have a good reason to play this game with Hanlin to test him to see if he was worthy of Operation Precept, Operation Paperclip, Cuban to prevent the Cuban Missile Crisis, Cold War? Where you at on that? Was it justified or no?
It would have been okay had he not gotten beat up and been checked at gunpoint. It would have been okay. Maybe rough him up softer to test his mentality because I get whatever they're doing is so top secret. They want to make sure there's not going to be any mutiny in the situation.
Yeah.
And I do not like that they let him get roughed up like that. And so when the general was talking about, "Are we good?" I'd be like, "Fuck no, we not good. I need to be, I need to be General
Uh,
Magic Negro at this
yeah.
point. Your
Uh,
job, I need to have the same job, or I'm going to tell the authorities like you think I should do. So no, 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 you're not good." And then, like you said, B. Avery, this man couldn't make love to his wife. Now, at first, I thought that he couldn't make love to his wife because she had got this new ugly ass wig and she didn't want to get it sweaty or whatever she had
it's
said.
stupid.
So I thought that's why he ain't get the panty draws. But it was a combination of the she didn't want to get the wig wet and he couldn't move his arm properly. But hell, that ain't never stopped nobody from hopping on taking the good ride.
You
Okay.
know,
But back to handling. I would have demanded that I'm a general behavior. I would have been privileged magic Negro #2 on this show. I would have had the same privilege as the general, and I probably would have punched the general in the face so he can feel a little bit of the pain that I felt that you said wasn't supposed to happen to me.
I ain't mad at that. General privilege, super magic Negro privileges. That's all right there. And I was
That's
just
right.
being stupid about the make love to your wife, but I like how you took that and ran with it. So love doing these with you, my guy. Oh, Lamont, man, have you ever been to the grocery store and seen your family members chopped up in pickle jars? Jeez, that's crazy.
Mm,
Oh, golly. Can you
mm.
imagine? See, when Ronnie was having her psychedelic episode, psychotic episode, she was at home at the crib in the house. So only her daddy and grandmama said, "Okay, we need to put you in the cold bathtub." Lily done flipped out at the stove on aisle 8 in front of everybody. What is going on? What is wrong with you, Lily Brainbridge? Is this a pickle jar? God, you screaming? Because you dropped the pickle jar? We need to send you to Jupiter Hill or Juniper Hill. Man, that sucks, bro. This sucks. This sucks. God, dog. Because of this hallucination she had, this demon haunting, she ended up in the cuckoo for Cocoa Nuts house. Like that. Golly, where you at, bro? Where you on that? That was nasty too. Yes.
First of all, I want to shout out the writers for being so intricate in their details. They could have had it, as B. Avery said, where Lily was at home, where Ronnie was, but because the town and people already know about Lily being at the loony bin in the past, it was befitting that they have her in a public place, wigging out, knocking over pickle jars and stuff and falling in front of people because now the community has that already knows she's crazy is really thinking we need to get her butt up out of here.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, B. Avery, she did a disservice to Ronnie because she could have protected Ronnie's dad by keeping her mouth shut, and she winds up in the same place they had threatened to put her in if she wouldn't have been tricked. And I just thought that the scene where they had her daddy in the pickle jar burst, this fucker turns into a octopus. And not only an octopus, he's got a tentacle that comes out of another jar, wraps around her neck, and then HBO had the audacity to stick the shit in her mouth, Avery.
Ugh.
I
Yeah.
was like, how far y'all gonna creep us out?
Yeah, kill me
How
that
far?
man. Let's go meet Jesus today. I don't want to live.
Man, they went there, and it's already creepy enough when you are someone who's claustrophobic and you feel like everything is just closing up around you. They even gave you that by having different aisles of things close up around her, B. Avery, and they didn't have aisles of stuff closing up around her that was fun. They could have had the ice cream aisle closing up around her. They could have had the sugary cereal aisle closing up around her. But no, they had to have sardine cans and pickle juices closing up around this girl, and you saw what happened.
It was gross. Y'all, if you like pickles, let us know in the comment section. Or if you will never eat a pickle again after watching this, we want to know that too. How you feeling about Operation Paperclip Precept? You know what they trying to do with this? They're trying to. I mean, they looking for something that was buried in Derry a long time ago that apparently can scare the victims to death. It looks like they know what it is and they looking for it because that's what's going. That's what is going. That's what's happening. I can't talk. How you feeling about this operation, this secret project they doing?
I really think that that Major Hanlin is going to be a sacrifice
Mm.
because it looks like they dug up the car. That was the car where what was the boy's name that died and got chased out by the Bat Baby last
Maddie,
episode?
Maddie.
Maddie. It looked like they dug up the car that Maddie got into from the hitchhikers, and that's where Bat Baby was created. And
Mhm.
so maybe there's something mythological about this car and other things down there that can create these bat creatures that can really terrorize people's mentality and drive them to start doing like Lily and Ronnie are doing. So I think it's got something to do with that. I think Hanlon is going to have to be a sacrifice, and I'm just waiting to see more of what happens. What else is down there too?
Yeah, we're gonna have to see, man. Hopefully, Lily gets out of Juniper Hill pretty soon, and she's not tortured, and you know, her and Ronnie and Will and Rich can be back to back to back to back fighting this demon and protect everybody. But we're gonna see. What are your final thoughts, sir? What have I left out, if anything at all?
Man, you got it all, man. You covered everything. It was a wild ride. And for those of you that want to know, Kellogg's cereal was started in Michigan because this was a food they started using to serve people in the loony bin back in the 1920s. And
Wow.
I wonder will they serve Lily Kellogg cereal at Juniper Hill Looney Bin?
Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna see. I cannot wait. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about the episode, our commentary, all that good stuff. But that is going to wrap it up for our Welcome to Derry on HBO Max season 2, The Thing in the Dark. We will be here same time, same place next week for episode 3. If you are watching this on my channel, please subscribe to Lamont's channel. He would appreciate it. And if you're watching this on Lamont's channel, please subscribe to my channel. All that stuff is in the description box of this video. And by the time you see this video, I will have some Tyler Perry videos uploaded on my channel. So go check that out as well. But guys, we just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget, I'm B. Avery. That's Lamont. And that's just our opinion. Peace out. And we'll see you next time.